few times.
A different video this week, guys. I want to really talk about a technique I use to be ruthlessly productive. But first, as you know, cue intro. Hi, I'm Fifi, a mum engineer consultant living in London, and I make videos about saving money, investing, and understanding the economy to make better financial decisions. As you probably gathered, I get up to quite a bit in my days, and I haven't mentioned all my hustles, which include investing and keeping up my business too. And of course, the mighty big elephant in the room is the YouTube channel. I really wanted to make this video for quite a while, as I wanted to talk about one of the things I learned that was a bit of a game changer. And that is learning that there will always be an ocean of work to do. So you have to accept that the ocean is there and enjoy its beauty, really. It sounds a little bit cliche, but in my mind, it completely works. And I think it makes sense. Essentially, what I mean is that it is near impossible to be fully up to date with everything. So we do need to prioritize our work and also be ruthless in eliminating the faff. I have to mention Thomas Frank here, actually, the productivity genius, obviously. In one of his videos from about a year or so back, he talked briefly about the Eisenhower Matrix, and the moment I heard it, I was like, hold on, slow down, Flash, what was that again? So here in this video, we'll cover off the matrix and also how I think when you start thinking of tasks and to-dos like this, it's a game changer. I have to warn you, it is subtle, but most things are, and I urge you to put it into action. You might find that you're already implementing some of these strategies that make up the matrix, and you've just had a hey presto moment because you realize there's a name for something that you've been doing. But remember, it's all about structure and consistency. So let's talk about the Eisenhower Matrix then. So the system generally comes from Dwight Eisenhower. Who is he, guys? Well, for us Brits who may not be fully aware of US history, the reason he sticks out is because he was the president through World War II. And even for those darkest hours, he was ambitious, steadfast, positive, and was insanely good at prioritizing resources and people. And so herein comes the matrix that's named after him, attributed to Eisenhower, and actually succinctly links to his quote, which if you haven't heard is, let me do it justice if I can, what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. Go rewind and listen to that again. This leads us to the tool to make time management so much more effective, creating a decision framework for deciding what is important and what isn't. While I'm here, you've also got to give, what's his name? Stephen Covey, who's also popularized the system in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is where the diagram that I'm going to try and pop here somewhere comes from. What we have to remember is, with all the noise in the modern world, it's nice to imagine that all the clutter and flutter can be eliminated with 4 simple boxes. So let's get in the mood and see how this works. One of the biggest personal and business challenges is knowing what's important. We can all pretty much act busy with tasks and do things with our time, but once we are able to decide what is important, it eliminates procrastination. It gets things done right and also improves our enjoyment from the work. When you think of a task, how do you decide when to get it done, given all the other fluff on your to-do list? You obviously use the matrix, guys. Come on, the Eisenhower Matrix. Let's explain this. In green, we have urgent and important tasks. This means do it immediately. These are time-sensitive tasks that need immediate attention and urgency. So you just get it done. Swoosh. Can I get a swoosh in here? In blue, you have all the tasks that are important and urgent, and these are considered strategic items, so tasks that are for long-term development. Items here are important, but they don't need immediate attention. Create a slot or time to get them done in. Then we have red. Red are urgent items, guys, but not important. These are things like last-minute meeting requests, calls with new suppliers, phone calls, emails. They don't need your attention immediately, and they don't tend to produce a measurable output. Be ruthless in how you make yourself available for these red tasks, and if it's possible, then delegate. Finally, in grey, we have not important and not urgent. Initially, this was classed as a do it later category, but these are tasks that add no value whatsoever. It's a section for time wasters and procrastinators and stops us focusing on getting things done in the other quads. So these need to be eliminated, and simply put, what I would do is just delete them and move on. That sounds straightforward enough, right? But the key is implementation, and there are a few things worth noting. So the colors are actually really important. Decide on a color scheme and then unify it across all of your task funnel. Now, I have made that term up, task funnel, while chatting about this video to my husband, but here's what I do with my color scheme. So red is urgent, do it immediately. Yellow is important but not urgent, so those are strategic tasks. Green is delegate, and grey is delete. My task funnel itself comes in two forms. The first is when I'm working from my inbox, and so there I've created categories with quick fire buttons in the toolbar of the email software. So Outlook does this really well, and Gmail has a colored labeling system that works a dream too. And if I'm in my inbox, I delete all the greys. I don't even categorize or waste my time on. Red, yellow and green are categories in my toolbar, and then during my early mornings, lunch and coffee breaks, and pre-dinner slog, I can focus on delegating and diarizing even the yellow task. My second task funnel is my Notion, where I've got a dashboard for all my, and it does include those recurring and annoying tasks like changing utility supplies and things. The same logic applies. I use Notion for my YouTube channel, my business and my personal life. So again, I create categories in Notion which allow me to do all of that. If you do fancy a nosy and want me to give a demo on either of these setups or both, then you need to leave a comment down below and hit the like button for the algo. I thought I'd just kick that one in there. Now, here is an interesting observation though. The most clicks, triggers and consideration is normally given to the urgent and delegate tasks as they're dealt with first. However, the biggest satisfaction and personal growth comes from the yellow strategic tasks. That is one of the reasons why it is so important to allocate chunks of time to those items, either before you properly open your inbox or set blocks during a week. And remember, they're important but not urgent. So that brings me onto the final bit of this video, which is how we distinguish between urgent versus important. And it's so important, overuse of that word honestly, to understand those tasks which keep you on course, and also understand those tasks that take you off course, with the aim being to try and reduce that friction. Where this system provides a framework for time management and executing tasks, there are a few things we still need to do to spend time thinking about. So when will you deal with the tasks that are important but not urgent? Like we discussed, these are the needle movers. When will you deal with the important tasks before they become urgent? And be prepared for emergencies. So there will be times when something comes up that takes precedent over all else and the matrix goes out the window. Well, don't forget, it's still there, and come back to it for that structure. Just my tip there, compartmentalize your time. For instance, I have Friday pre-party obviously and Sunday early evenings as my slots to think about strategy for my side hustles and business, and I may do other times as well in the evenings, but these particular ones are etched in stone, and it's called designing your time. And also with the pandemic, this is a good question. What if you don't have the ability to delegate? Is the system rubbish because 25% of it cannot be used? No way, Jose, guys. This is where to-do lists come in, and across all platforms, Notion, Gmail, Outlook, you can sort by categories and work through tasks in categories with urgent and urgent but not important tasks. And guys, if Warren Buffett can live by to-do list scratching out as he completes each item, well, we can too, guys. And finally, on designing your time, there is a really good book by Bill Burnett and is it Dave Evans? But some snippets from that book is to-do lists, for instance, ease the mind. The goal of the system is to make things easier to accomplish. And if you have more than 8 things in each quadrant, then it won't really work because you'll feel overwhelmed and there'll be too much to do. Maybe the solution is to create a separate matrix for your work life and your personal life, and also separate notebooks for your work hustles and your day job. That feeling of accomplishment is so underrated. I don't actually have a playlist on productivity because I haven't really done any videos on that, but I have linked some videos here if you want to keep watching me talk. Enjoy, guys. Bye.